spreadsheet we've been using. I've hid some columns. What I'll show is a town manager budget column, the Board of Selectmen, the Finance Committee, and I have another column called reconciliation that you'll see. What I've tried to do is in orange highlight throughout this budget are those items that have changed since my original budget submission. Those items in green that are highlighted basically at the top of each department line are those departments in green are things that were voted on as approved by the Board of Selectmen, and based on Gail Eaton's email on what was agreed upon, I have the Finance Committee. If they both agreed, they're both highlighted green. If any of the departments are highlighted yellow, those are items that I'm not sure about, or were not voted on, or were recent changes that need to be discussed. And with that being said, I can share the screen, Dave, if you'd like.
Yep, do it up.
Okay. Okay, can everybody see it?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, Dave, we can start off with administration if you'd like.
I don't know, actually, Derek, all I want to do tonight, if nobody has any objection, if we agree, we agree. What we
Okay.
usually do is just go to anything we disagree on. And tonight we don't, but all I do want to do is go department by department where we've had changes, 13 facilities, 15 DPW, 16 solid waste, and right down through. Just because, like you said, some of these changes came about since either one of our groups may have met and that we're all on board. I don't think we need to rehash one by one. I'm all for going right to 13 facilities.
Okay, great. I'll slowly go through and scroll through and just make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, this was the first change in facilities during the Board of Selectmen meeting. They had asked to break out the part-time from the full-time, and this was the result. There are small changes in FICA, Medicare, to workers' comp.
So this one here, Gail, just thinking of this, do you want to each of our groups go one by one and just say that we're okay with this? And then at the end, we'll just essentially say we're okay with everything?
Sounds good.
Okay. So BOS, anyone have any objection to the budget actually being lowered? We're good. Go ahead, Gail.
Okay, anybody on the Finance Committee having objections to the lower budget? I say we're good.
Okay. I think the next one, Derek, was 15 DPW.
Okay, there were two changes recently. This is because Dennis Cox went back and just reevaluated his position. Dennis, are you on tonight? Okay. For road striping, he recommended an increase to $45,000. Here's the email sent from Dennis, if you can read it. Basically, the cost of paint increased. Most of the paint that he received was actually from Texas, and you know, they suffered some problems down there with the paint and inventory. And he also suggests an increase in the vehicle maintenance line, which is below here. And let me get the edit that so you can see it's all in the same. Basically, equipment use and cost of repair parts and maintenance costs have increased. So he'd like to increase that line to $84,000.
So Derek, just a quick question, comment. The striping, I want to say we've been at that same number for years and years, and every year it amazes me that we haven't had an increase. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But so that one doesn't grab my attention in any way.
Okay.
vehicle maintenance. I mean, it's just like housing items right now. I'm sure everything's higher.
So
Anyone from the board? Oh, go ahead, Derek.
No, I'm sorry. Those are just the two changes for that department.
So that went up roughly 18.5 BOS.
Yeah.
Anyone have any objections to the new number? All head shaking no. All yours, Gail.
Anybody on the finance committee got problems?
Yeah, I just have a question. On the painting, is the supplier in Texas the only supplier in the country that, just to sort of bounce, get some quotes on and to see if we would still experience the same increase? That's my only question.
Okay.
Derek, you have anything?
I don't really have anything on that right now, just because this just came up yesterday. I'd have to get back with Dennis to find an answer for that. But knowing that this meeting was happening tonight.
Well,
So, Kim, just as a, nothing tonight is final. So that's a good question to have Dennis go back and see what the possibilities are. We'll still go to our public hearing in April. And if, Dennis was able to find a different number or something, we can make changes again that night. And technically we can make changes at town meeting too. So, but that's probably a good question to ask.
The only thing I can't say, Dave, is with this budget, Dennis is really good at reflecting numbers, and he's very cautious of spending money when he doesn't have to. This would at least get him by with his current supplier, and we can still look for other companies out there that may provide a cheaper solution.
Right,
And it does-
especially where it's going to be later.
But that does give us a good cushion that if you can't find anybody else, we still have our butt covered in terms of the costs on that. Is that a fair assumption?
I think it is, Gail.
Okay.
You guys good, Gail?
Any other questions or objections from the finance committee?
well, I have a comment. Hello?
We're
Hello?
listening. We're listening.
No. Well, my comment was going to be, it's like the paint supply. We're not buying the paint. The contractor's buying the paint. We're only hiring the contractor. So, with that in mind, yeah, kind of sucks. But I mean, we have had good luck. This guy, I guess I would be against looking for another paint contractor because this guy for years has held his price and works with the town. I remember that's one of Dennis's big things, we can find cheaper contractors. Who was it? I think Don had a story years ago about, you hire someone like from Massachusetts, they come in 3 days, or maybe it was Dennis, they just come in, they paint over dirt, they paint over the lines, and then you got to spend more money repaint. So anyway, that's all I got to say.
Dennis is with us right now. Dennis, would you like to speak up? The questions are with the increase in painting costs. One of the questions that Kim Talbot brought up was, is there a cheaper vendor, contractor, or supply that we could go to at this point? Can we go out and look? My response to her and some other comments were, we can use this number because, I know you've done your homework and possibly revisit this later during the public hearing. So do you have any comments to this?
I mean, I spoke to our painter yesterday. This is the best he could do at the time. I would say the figure that I put in here now from the conversation we had yesterday is a figure that we won't exceed. It's circumstances out of our control. It's got nothing to do with quality. The gentleman's painted the lines for the last 10 years for Topsham. We've gone out to bid. We've brought in people from outside of the state of Maine to get costs from them. The problem being is that they'll only come in once, paint whatever Topsham has ready or isn't ready, they'll still paint it, and they go away. They don't come back again. It's a one-time trip. The beauty of working with this gentleman, Lucas Striping, that we've used, is that Steve comes from Sydney, Maine. He'll come down, he'll paint what we've got ready. He'll paint as the weather cooperates and permits him to paint. He won't come in and work when it's damp out. You know, he's a quality painter. The cost isn't because of the painter, the paint, that's the product that he's putting down. It's the paint he's putting down. So I really don't see waiting or going back out for a different painter to make a difference here. He's proven himself to be in quality. It's a material cost. And again, as I shared with you, I would say the figure I gave you is our best guess, working with the supplier out of Texas, Dow Chemical, that it's a figure that we won't exceed. You know, he guesstimated the best he could on what they told him figures were going to be. He understands municipalities, he understands budgets. He's upfront with us before he even comes to town.
Thank you, Dennis. So I think we had the question, everyone, I think's in favor of moving, and is that accurate? Yeah, okay, Gail. Shaking my head.
Finance committee, okay now? Okay, yep.
All right, 16, solid waste.
Okay, I'll explain the wage and benefits. Ed's here with us tonight. He'll explain the other two. These changes came up recently. One of the things we didn't factor in was Tim Staples, a full-time employee down there, has let Ed know that he'll be retiring. Tim does not use full benefits as far as family benefits are concerned. So we had to adjust the payroll and the employee benefits for a person that will eventually be coming into that position. You'll see that the wage line decreased because Tim's been there for a while, so the new person obviously won't be making the same wage, be more of an entry step. And the insurance benefits basically cover somebody who will come in with full family medical benefits and utilize full retirement benefits. So with the wage benefits anyways, I mean, it could be that we're saving money if this person has the same benefit structure as Tim who's retiring. So we just have to cover ourselves in the event we have somebody come in that utilizes full benefits. Ed, if you're on, if you'd please explain contracts and transfer hauling costs.
Yes, good evening. The reason I had to bump these up, I took a harder look at my numbers and looking at the new contract coming up, which is our last contract, and I did a better calculation of the tonnage that we were producing. COVID has added a lot to the calculation, so I had to really think about that because we're going to continue on for probably another 6 months to a degree. Of some, so I expect to add an increase on those, that amount of money because things are going up and the contract price is going up. And I did I did a harder look at those numbers, and along with the transportation costs, what it's going to cost us to ship. I based it on how many cans that we ship out now and the average tonnage of all those cans as well. So the tonnage of what we're shipping out, I gave it a better calculation according to the contract and giving some other items that I hadn't thought about that I really kind of misstepped until I just got rid of a load of tires. I forgot to add money in for tire disposal and a couple other items. So I kind of own this one, but I did some better mathematics on it all. And I think we're in a better shape in this one with these numbers the way they are.
Ed, one of the questions, looking at the budget number, it doesn't equally reflect to the change of revenue. So if our costs are going up, tire disposal, for instance, why wouldn't we equally charge that to the person?
I did bump up the revenues. I'm hoping we'll have more on that. I didn't want to get too liberal and then not meet that goal. I'd rather make more than I expected. One of the things that we are doing right now, Mark and I guess we're going to get an intern to assist us in looking at our prices that we're charging, how we're paying looking at some of that electronic ideas that you had talked about in previous meetings. So some of those things will help us to better get our revenues better in line for what we're actually gonna have to do. Wood, for instance, our demo wood, we're gonna have a hard time getting rid of that the way we have in the past. I'm probably gonna end up having to go with it right into the demo cans and shipping it out as opposed to grinding it and then paying to dispose of it, because the places that take it, there isn't any of them out there. The 2 mills that burned the demo chips now are not taking the demo chips. And we did have the luxury of Brunswick landfill for a short time, but they're closing at the end of the month. So we're gonna have to pay to get rid of our demo one way or another. We may be cheaper to just put it into the cans with the regular demo debris, but adjust that price for the disposal cost to cover those items, which would also be reflected in the grinding costs. We probably wouldn't pay as much to grind and dispose of it because we wouldn't have it to do. Currently, what we do grind is the obviously the demo wood, but also the brush and the compost. And the brush pays for itself. The compost is just a price we have to charge for it. Does that help? You're muted, Dave.
Yeah, just as long as we're gonna tighten it up, that I just making sure what people are disposing of, and if it's costing us more, it's gonna cost them more, in my opinion.
Yeah. Exactly. I do have plans. I've been talking with Trent, and we're gonna probably look at next month sometime, opening the recycle building back up and do a little more tighter overseeing of that. We're already pulling the cardboard out and starting to bale that again so we can get paid for that instead of paying to have somebody else recycle it. So we're trying to get back into a somewhat normal pace at the facilities for the summer. And I think in another month, we can have all the doors wide open and not have too much trouble with a circulation of air and people, if you will. So yeah, when we're looking at that, we're going to be looking at those prices pretty strictly. We'll probably be coming back to the board before the end of the fiscal year to get some adjustments on the prices, which will help cover those costs on the revenues. Anybody else?
Dave, you're muted.
Go ahead, Matt.
Ed, when is Tim retiring? Do you have a firm date yet?
April 1st is his last day.
Are you serious? Or are you joking right now?
No, I'm serious.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, we've got it posted in-house right now. Not sure what how we'll make out with that, but then we'll go, if it doesn't happen, we'll go outside, so.
Hey, Derek. Oh, go ahead. Mark, do you have something before I ask a question?
Just to follow up on what Ed was saying, is it looks like we're going to have at least 2, maybe 3 Bowden interns this summer. And we've got a number of projects we're identifying to work with them on. And one of them is to go through, look at all our costs, help prepare us for the next contract negotiations, do some research, use their technical skills to help us find a good payment option for the transfer station, and maybe help us, we might be able to find some other ways we can divert some of these recyclables, or get some fresh eyes, new ideas, some financial analysis, and recommend some new fees. And we'll be, they're going to start in May. So I would expect that probably by July, we'll be able to come back to you with some fee suggestion changes and some maybe other things, the payment thing for the transfer station, et cetera.
Right. I'm currently getting prices together from all the different area towns, and then I'm looking at what they're charging, what we're paying, and then see whether we're online. Right now, we seem to be in line with other communities, but I don't want to get outrageous either. So want to cover our costs, but not necessarily make money.
Hey, Derek, on the payroll, if I'm thinking of that, as I'm looking at the union contract as we speak, the employee today, I think, is a grade I. The newest would be a grade L, I believe.
J,
Full-time payroll.
I believe is it L or J?
I'm bringing up.
Solid waste attendant. I'm just saying it should be a
It will be a different grade.
significantly different number than $2,600. Even J would be around $8,000.
Yeah, because we now have right now, currently, we have equipment operator, transfer station operator, and an attendant. When Tim retires, the equipment operator position changes to transfer station operator, which is a different line in the contract. So
Right.
lesser.
It seems like it would be more than
From,
20.
He'll be dropping one grade down to J.
Right.
Yeah, but from the top step down to one grade is $4 an hour at 2,080 hours a year. You know, you're talking 8,500 somewhere in that area. Unless you gave yourself room for the ability to be at a different step, but still that's $3 difference. So we'd be around $6,000. So I just say, make sure, I mean, it's same thing with payroll. It is what it is, but let's just make sure it's right. Is my opinion. It just seems, looking at from top step to entry, or even 2 or 3, whatever that comes to.
I'll verify.
Okay. All right, BOS, any issues with what's here? There's one head shake no. I can't find Roland to save my life. There he is. Roland, you good? Okay. Ruth, you good? Okay. All yours, Gail.
Finance Committee, any objections? Did I hear someone? No? All right, hearing none, I guess we're good.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. 18 PD.
Okay, just got this last minute change, which is good, and I'm glad Chief brought this up. But after the recent eval this past year, this particular line should go up that amount to $5,616. This merit pay is within the police contract right now, and the officers are awarded $12 per paycheck each week if they meet a certain score on their evaluation. Chief, do you have anything to add?
No, you pretty much summed it up, sir. Yeah, this was just a last minute change. We changed, the officers used to get the merit pay. They used to have the evals in June, and it was too late for the budget process. So we moved it to, they're now getting evaluated on the calendar year. And it just took us a while to get the numbers figured out, sit down with everybody. So my apologies.
Anything from the board? Nope. All you, Gail.
Anything from the Finance Committee? Hearing none, I guess we're good.
23 library.
I just highlight EMS. You mentioned the changes. That just delete.
Well, yeah, those were changes, but those were based on requests. We were already agreeing. So unless anyone had this is all new information, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's why, you know, that's, go ahead.
Refresh me. What have we agreed on? Because there was some question on the part-time versus another full-time.
Right. Our vote was to go, not to go with that. Change,
right.
Continue to use the part-time.
Okay.
And those yellow numbers are just reflecting what we asked them to do.
Right.
I was of the thought, there's all these so far been new things that have come up in the last 10 days, 12 days or so since any of us met. And it was a good chance to review and refresh.
Okay, this is a recent change. a couple of weeks ago, we were informed by our current financial auditor, Smith and Associates, that they will no longer be able to do our audits.
No, we had, do this, Derek, and then we got to go back to 23, the library thing.
Okay. All right. So a few weeks ago, when we found that out, I had requested that they possibly be able to hold on to us for this current year. The response I got recently was they cannot. They're stepping out of the municipal audit business. And after talking to a finance director who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, she reached out to 2 or 3 municipalities that would be interested in doing this. The concern was, and the reason why she reached out first was if we put out an RFP initially without reaching out, then potentially wouldn't get anybody. So because she's been around the industry for a while, there is some interest out there. So she did draft an RFP that'll be presented to the Board of Selectmen on the 1st of April to go out and get that out on the street to get some responses. Her estimate for this will be $25,000. That also includes a single audit. Single audit is required when your federal grants are above $750,000, and it appears that we will be above that this year because of the CDBG grant of $500,000, the Keep Maine Healthy grant that we received for a little less than $250,000, some FEMA money that the fire department's putting in for, as well as possibly this money that's coming in at $890,000. So that's why that fee right now is we're predicting it to be right around $25,000.
Derek, something like the CDBG grant, and obviously all the COVID money blows us out of that number, but on a normal year where we may only have the CDBG grant, is there any way going forward that we could make that, you know, if we're required to do this audit, that whoever it's awarded to, or we write it into it or something like that, so the taxpayers aren't picking that up?
Yeah, let me look into it.
Yeah. I mean, all the other ones are still going to blow it out of the water, so it won't matter this
Right.
year, but just in general. Anything from the board? Nope, nope, nope. Matt, all I see is your forehead. I'm assuming it's going sideways.
All
Oh,
I
good,
say is, and thank you to the other auditors, but it's nice to see a change.
All right,
just-
Neil, you.
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
Dave. Just a last piece of information. Just to let you know, the Smith and Associates did inform us that they can audit the library this year. I didn't see any issue with that, given that the amount of auditors out there are decreasing in the state. So they'll still proceed with Smith and Associates this year while the town goes with another business. Thank you.
Gail?
Any comments, questions from the Finance Committee? Hearing none, we're good.
All right. So Derek, let's go back to 23 to get the library part-time stuff.
Hey, Dave, real quick, just because 22 comes before 23, but in the Parks and Rec, 22, there was a change stemming from the Board of Selectmen in the baseball line item. I don't think that we had discussed that as the Finance Committee. I believe I'm right there. Can we learn a little bit about what was happening there?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I only did it that way because I thought you guys were. So, Derek, I can go if you want.
Yeah, I can do it. That's fine. So the baseball, this is the Cal Ripken League. It's a baseball, softball, I believe T-ball. What Pam recommends is that we only take out, since the baseball incorporates about $6,500 worth of expenses, she'd only like to take out $5,000. This would give her money that she can use towards farm and sandlot league and maybe some clinics along the way. So it provides $1,500 where she can still do things for the kids that aren't participating in this formal league. And it's also reflected in the revenue side as well, the same amount.
So Derek, has the decision already been made that Topsham is not going to participate in the Cal Ripken League? Is that what's happening here?
No, they're going to participate in the Cal Ripken League, but it'll be led with a group of people who are volunteering their time to act as a board.
I see.
Very similar to Brunswick.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the information. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Gail, just, if you guys didn't, why don't we just make sure you guys are good with that?
Good. I mean, that change was part of the email Derek sent on the 6th that was incorporated into the spreadsheet that we did look at. So
Okay.
if I wasn't clear that change had been made, my apologies, Patrick. So,
No, I think that this may have been Patrick having just skimmed over that one. So that's on me.
we'll share the blame. How's that? Okay.
I'll take it. I'm
Okay.
on board. Thank you.
All right. So any objections from the Finance Committee on this? Hearing none, we're good then.
Okay. I believe the library was also in an update as well that the Finance Committee agreed to, but just to look at it, it was an oversight on our part. There was a vacancy in a part-time position at the library that we caught after the budget went out that was not budgeted for because that position had been vacant. So with our new finance director and Susan, it was basically a communication error on our part.
Anything from the board? Nope. Gail?
Anything from Finance? Nope, we're good then.
All righty. I think the last thing I had, Derek, was capital for the forklift.
Yeah, I can speak to that. So after the first Board of Selectmen meeting, we went out and the Public Works Director got a new estimate. And go ahead, Dennis, you're already there.
I am. Thank you, Derek. We went back out and solicited prices for that unit, and 135, excuse me, the budgetary price of $35,000 would be more accurate, and we won't exceed that figure.
That's where we got our paint money. Anything from the board? Seeing nothing. Gail?
If I may, real quickly, excuse me, but we did look into a used unit as well to see about saving costs. But with COVID right now and demand for equipment, used units are going at a fairly high value. A new unit is around 35,000. A used good unit is selling between 31 and 34,000. So it's almost worth going for the new unit with the warranty that way, and that package, rather than going out looking for a used unit without a decent warranty. So I just wanted to share that we did look into the used unit as well.
Excellent.
Thanks for looking at this. Good stuff.
Any comments from the Finance Committee?
A comment, just thank you very much, Dennis, for doing your due diligence here. You know, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So on that last comment, I think we're good too.
All right. So Derek, I believe those were the only changes that have happened recently. Is
We just
that
have
accurate?
Yeah, those are the changes. I just wanted to make sure that I'm clear. I know the Board of Selectmen wanted to wait to see what would happen with the school budget and the county budget for the insurance line. When we talked about the payroll adjustment unfunded liability line, I just wanted one comment with that line as well. Sometimes we have unexpected benefits increases, and I did not mention this to you in previous meetings, where somebody may come in after a period of time and during an open enrollment, somebody changes their benefits. So this is a line too that we draw from if that happens as well. And the rest has been explained to you in previous meetings. So I just want to make sure that the Board of Selectmen is good with this, as well as the Finance Committee, because you didn't really have an official vote on this.
That's right. I forgot about that. At this moment, I guess, yeah, I mean, we see, yeah. Any thoughts from the board? There's only Ruth and I that I was questioning and Ruth was against. So it was really the two of us that would be questioning it because the other two were in favor of the number that was there. So I'm going to go with it at this moment.
At this moment, we have one more whack at the ball. I'm gonna go with it, but I'm still not. Is that the
Yep.
last one, right?
Yes, and I just wanted to, that's the last one, except for I just want to highlight the SAG County government and the SAD information that we just recently received. And I'm sure yourself and Matt would like to talk about SAG County.
Nobody wants to hear about that tonight. I'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay. So for insurance, I just want to make sure everybody's good.
Yes.
Yep.
We'll both talk about it tomorrow, Matt. The only thing I want to mention is, again, at the very end, not forget that we are going to take some of that money that we have surplus of and keep to our word, the 500,000 or whatever for the budget.
That's already in here, Ruth.
Okay,
Has been-
that's what I
Has
want to
been
make sure.
since the beginning.
I thought it was, but I just,
Yep.
yeah, thank you.
And,
Oh, go ahead, Derek.
yeah, Gail, with the finance committee, are you good?
Finance committee, anything? I hear nothing, so we're good.
Okay. And just to update the finance committee, Board of Selectmen is aware. The administrator for the county gave us an estimate, although it still needs to be approved. So it's changed from my original budget submission, which you can see there at 1.9 mil, and it's significantly lower, probably about 2.5% lower. With the school, the most recent information is there's probably going to be an increase in it, but we're looking at potentially over $200,000 lower than what we projected. There's been news recently about the tech school in Region 10 asking for much more money than they had last year, and there might be some budget adjustments still with SAT 75, but we're looking pretty good. With this budget as it stands, and if our revenues hold, we're looking at a potential decrease in net commitment of about $285,000.
Excellent. So that puts us to both groups with the same budget going into the public hearing. Reminder, the public hearing is Thursday, April 15th, tax day. So after you pay your taxes, come in and spend some more money at a public hearing. And we'll be doing that via Zoom still at this moment. So it'll be back on and it'll be during our Board of Selectmen meeting. Gail, do you have any last words of wisdom?
No, thank you for the abbreviated review. I loved it. I don't know about anybody else. That was great. So,
all right, folks. Thank you.
thank you.
See
Thank
you.
you, guys, all of you. Appreciate it.